Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Put away your phones.
Yeah, can you do a class where you, I want to know how you do that.
You want to know how I do this?
Yeah.
How I do this?
I love the look.
Yeah,
I
can you
love
show
the
us
style.
that?
But I'm on camera right now.
Is your shadel a full shadel?
This is not a shaitel. This is my hair.
Oh, that's your actual hair?
This is my hair.
Wait, really?
This is my hair.
I thought it was your shadel.
One day you will hear my life story. But till then, we will learn Tomer Devorah.
Wait, can you actually teach us how to wear different cool ways to wear them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to wear my kaka.
All right. You will. You're going to cover your hair and it's going to be beautiful. Bezrat Hashem.
Are we getting the book? Get over here.
You are getting the books. You do have the booklets that I printed up for you?
Ellie's got some nice hair.
Yofi.
Or
We're going to begin.
Ellie's also got some nice hair.
Thank you. I think everyone
Except, no,
You
not
see me over there?
Not the red.
You see me from all the way over there?
Like, red one look at me.
You get you need I get it.
I would just look like a bad guy job.
What are you looking for?
If I had red hair, if I had Ellie's hair.
We're good to go?
My dad's blonde. Okay, he doesn't have hair
This
now.
is my turn to talk. My turn to talk. Love you.
I do.
You should. You should start a podcast.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you should.
Mexico.
All right, guys. Good morning. Okay, let's begin some learning. Let's focus a little bit inward. Everyone, turn around. Sit in front of yourselves, meaning sit with yourself. Turn yourself around. Focus inward. We're gonna do something for a minute, which means turn around. I don't know, someplace sit like I'm sitting, with yourself, not sideways, not having your energy point towards anyone else. Straightforward. Okay.
Can I ask you a quick question before we start?
Yes, you can.
Is the weather app here reliable? If it says it's gonna rain, will it rain? Or do I
If it says it's going to rain, it's going to rain.
is it reliable? Is it does it change every 5 seconds?
back in Chile,
Chile's a third world country, girl. We don't have nothing there. We don't have weather apps.
Hi, welcome. That's a really good question for you to ask someone that knows and cares. I don't ever check the weather. I just run into the elements and
But I mean, if it says it's gonna
whatever
rain,
happens,
if it
happens.
says it's gonna rain, can I trust it's gonna rain or
I think you can. I think you should take some precautions. Umbrella, hood, something. But definitely go live your life, even if it rains. Okay.
dance in the rain?
Yes, dance in some rain. Dove, so what we're doing right now is putting away, and now there's no more talking, and now there's no more questions, and for right now. Right now what we're doing is putting away our phones, and yes, I can move back 1 second. Okay? Sit up and take out a piece of paper and a pen, and put away your phones, and put away your phones. And put away your phones. Okay, piece of paper and pen. Girls, let's try to avoid activating our ADHD, which means the less stimulus as possible right now. Okay? Let's try to zone in on what we're about to do, what we're about to learn, and what we're about to acquire. The tools we're about to acquire from this class, God willing. Okay, take out a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to write down, does everyone see me? Yes? I want you to write down 10 thoughts. Thoughts are thoughts, right? They don't have to have happened. They don't have to be currently in your life. I want you to write 10 thoughts that when you think about them, make you feel a good emotion. Whether it's love, safety, connection, calm, happy.
Can you just repeat what we have to do? I'm sorry.
Write 10 thoughts down that make you feel right now, that can make you feel, when you think about them, they make you feel a positive emotion. 10 thoughts that make you feel a positive emotion, any emotion. And it doesn't have to be something that has already happened or anything like that. You can think of the blue sky and the clouds. Things that make you, something that makes you feel nice, warm on the inside, maybe fuzzy. Something that makes you Maybe something that you can think of that has to do with love, that makes you feel a good feeling in the inside. A thought to activate a feeling. Think of 10 thoughts that make you feel good in any kind of way. Any kind of positive emotion that it brings up. That time when you were with that person, your parent, your mom, your best friend, that you felt safe and loved and yourself. Or when you were skiing or waterboarding or mountain climbing or bungee jumping, that feeling that you had or that you might have if you do it. Frolicking in the fields freely. Stay here and don't do anything else, not even pray. Stay here, we're doing something. Let your mind take you to places of thoughts that when you think of those things, your heart smiles in some way. Take your time. You did it? Nice. How many of you are up to number 10? Raise your hand. How many of you up to 8? 6? 4? How many of you have only 4 things down? 2? You could drink, it's okay. All right, 10 thoughts that make you feel a positive emotion. Something that you want to do, something that you did, something that you felt, something that you saw, something that you want to see, you envision yourself seeing in your life or touching or experiencing. Okay. Let's begin. Who wants to share some? Yes. Sleep. Nice. Who else? Yes.
Feeling clean and showered.
Clean, showered. That's nice. Who else? Yes. Sunsets. What does that make you feel?
I don't know. I feel like I just see Hashem when I see the sunset.
You see Hashem. And what does that make you feel?
I don't know. It makes me feel like there's so much like power and I'm so little, but like I don't know. I can't explain.
Mm.
Weird.
There's so much power, like you're...
Like Hashem has so much power.
Yeah, he's so
like
great.
You really feel it, and then you see it, and then it's really nice.
Love it. Yeah.
I have 2. So,
Tell me.
Or 1.
Okay.
Okay. Holding my nephew for the first time.
Holding your nephew for the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when I saw an older couple holding hands.
Yeah.
Walking down the street. I
Yeah.
thought that was really cute.
Yeah. What's the common denominator between both of those things for you?
Love. Family, love,
Connection.
connection.
Good. Good.
Compassion.
There's your map.
Yeah.
Those things that make you feel good are under the category of family, connection, love.
Yeah.
Those are the things that make you feel good. That's something that not everyone goes there.
Yeah.
So that's something to know about ourselves. It's really good to know. It's really good to know ourselves, just to know who we are, and that's what these classes are for, to get to know ourselves. Because sometimes we can be the last person in the world that we really know. That we're so busy working outwardly that we don't know ourselves, and then there's all this resistance, and we're going to get to that. Yes, tell me, share.
It's very specific, but Thanksgiving morning.
Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah.
Is that because we're on the cusp of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and it's just like a tradition in my family where we all cook together. So
What does that make you feel?
happy, like comfortable, safe.
What part of that makes you feel happy, comfortable, and safe?
That my whole family's together and doing something.
The connection.
Yeah.
Mm. Connection equals safety, comfortable, united. Connection equals that for you. And that makes you feel good. Okay, great, amazing, yes. Tell me your name again. Rifki.
It's not one word connection.
One word, you
Yeah,
said?
like when I'm able to like connect, sit down and like have like nice conversations or connect with my friends or my family or something. It's very nice.
Okay, but I want you to bring me an example of something that will be, God willing, or something that has been, that made you feel that connection. I'm interested, I'm after the feeling, the emotion. That's what I'm after.
And when I sat down with my friend for a long time, we talked for like hours about it, only for hours.
Amazing. And that made you feel?
Nice. It made me feel comfortable. It made me feel like I was able to like click with somebody.
And when you were in that space, like when you walked out of that conversation, you were in that space of like feeling like rejuvenated, recharged, and like connected and all of that?
Yeah.
Do you remember yourself afterwards? Do you remember how like how you were in that during that time?
I think so. It was
Tell
a
me.
while ago.
Tell me, what do you remember?
It was just like a year ago.
But you know what? Our minds remember the things that are either really bad or really
I
good.
remember how I feel. I just can't describe it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, yes.
When you're at the hotel, I feel like spiritual. Hashem,
When you're at the hotel.
like really deep.
And how does being spiritual and connected to God make you feel?
Awesome, happy, and like I want to be connected to God.
You want more of that feeling.
Yeah.
So it's a feeling that you want more of.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're in the spiritual. Okay. What's your name?
Shoshi.
Shoshi. What's your full name?
Shoshi Feldman.
Shoshana.
Yeah. Miriam.
Shoshana Miriam. Psh. Strong name. Tell me. Yes.
I said hugging my mom's.
Hugging your mother. What does that make you feel?
Love.
What else? Yeah. A part of something? Connected to someone? Connected to something. Yeah. How important on a scale of 1 to 10? Tell me your name. What's your name? What's your name? Sarit. How important on a scale of 1 to 10 to you is being connected to something? Connected to like a group, a school, a club. How important is being a part of something to you on a scale of 1 to 10? Like being connected to some people or something or some home or having your place. Shh. 8. 8. So, okay, amazing. You're gonna stand by the end of this class while I'm doing this to you. Tell me. Yes, hi.
My mom sent me like videos of my little siblings, of them like walking or like eating something for like little ones.
And how does that make you feel?
Very happy.
Happy or sad?
Happy. It's like I'm watching them grow up also, like not in person, just through a video or something like that.
What else besides for happy does it make you feel?
I'm saying it also makes me feel like sad that like I'm not seeing it, but, like just happy that like they're like I get to see it through like a screen at least. And when I think
I want you to reach for an emotion that is not mixed. It's not the happy, oh, but I'm missing this emotion, because that's a dual one. I want you to reach for a fully ripe fruit, which is only positive, and you have them. You have them. Think about something. Yes. Who said can I? Yes. She's exploding. 1 second, everyone. Yes.
My father's figure and my big sister makes me feel secure, heard, loved, safe, and comfortable.
I don't hear you. I have a scarf over my ears.
Secure, heard, loved, safe, and comfortable.
Secure, loved, safe, and comfortable. When you're with your...
Father's figure and my big sister. Not my like fire.
I love that. What does that tell you about yourself? What does that tell you about yourself? See, we're always trying to find our code.
That
What
at home, when I'm at home with my biological family, I don't feel safe for it.
But what does that tell you about what you do feel when you are with those people and you do feel those positive feelings? So what does that tell you about you?
That I can't control how I grew up.
No, that's too many thoughts. Those are I want to know. I want to know heart. I want to know from you. Look at me. We always get here. We always get to this place and then you move away. Listen to me. I want to know from you right now, knowing this about yourself. Just having this map a little bit. Like over here, check. So what is over here that makes me feel check? Secure, comfortable. Forget about what's over there in the dark place. We know all about the darkness. We know that so well. We're swimming in that stuff. Okay, we're not so swimming in the other side of ourselves. And from that place that we're working on right now, which is where we're going to all go, from that place, from that what you just described, secure, love, connection. From that place, we're just going to create more of those things. That it's possible for you, not just possible. It happened already. That means that if it happened, it's going to continue happening in your life. That you are a person that attracts connection, love, safety, security. You're a person that attracts that despite the darkness. Yes.
Dressing modestly when everyone around me isn't.
What does that make you feel?
Like empowered and strong.
And when everyone around you is dressed modestly, how does that make you feel?
Good. Like I'm with my people.
Nice. I love that. What does empowered make you feel? Like, what is the feeling of empowerment for you?
I feel good with myself. Like I'm not like giving in to what everyone else is doing. Like I am strong in who I am.
And being not following the herd, but standing in your light, how does that make you feel? What's the feeling, the emotion?
I don't know what that means.
You probably stand a little straighter. You probably feel a little less needy.
Like more confident.
There we go. So confidence is your... Okay. Yeah? Tell me. We'll get to you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's yours.
Oh.
The floor is yours. Sorry, everybody. I don't know your names because I only see you 1 hour a week. But one day we'll change, God willing. Yes.
Oh my gosh, go to something else.
Why?
Esther, we believe in you.
No, it's good ones. It's just stupid.
No, it's not stupid. We can't call our feelings
It's not
stupid.
that it's stupid. It's just
Or anything that we do stupid. We can't call ourselves bad names, period, even if we do bad things. You're feeling it. So you're feeling it. So that's awesome. So say it. You're actually there. So that's amazing.
It's winter date nights, especially like on Central Avenue. Or like there's like this one really religious block in Brooklyn that has this like espresso place, and like just like everything's closed usually when you go to Central Avenue. Close at 6, so like you go like you just like go like window shopping. Just like
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, I love that.
And hold on, what is that? Tell me your name again.
I love Central
It's so weird.
What's your name?
Oh, it's not weird.
Esther. What about window shopping at the cold winter nights when everything is closed? What does that make you feel?
Right? That's a good
It's a good
You all like feel that? What she's feeling?
Yeah, especially we go there, so it's like
Central Avenue when it's shut down and it's freezing cold in New York. That's what makes you feel warm and cozy on the inside.
not like that. Like, they have like lights around. Like
Oh, like Christmas time.
Wait,
Is that what it is?
it's Christmas every winter night in Central Avenue.
Right.
It's not for Christmas.
Okay.
it's not, yeah, like they have.
I'm
like,
after the emotion, Esther. What's the emotion that comes up for you when you think of that?
Just like excited and just there, like very focused, very present, and also just the fact that like you're with someone that you're not trying to figure out, but you're like you're something down, and you're understanding a whole other person's center of the universe, and like I don't know.
So she's not describing Central Avenue. What is she describing? What is she describing?
Connection.
Yup. Right? That's what makes the world go round, everybody. But where does her brain take her to when she thinks of that connection and that she's reaching for that really good feeling? And where does that really good feeling lie? In which file in her brain? Central Avenue on a cold evening, because that's where that happened for her. The connection that gives you that really good feeling is now associated with this experience. When you walk on Central Avenue by yourself at 6 p.m., it's 6:30 p.m., December 24th, wrong day, 15th, and you're walking down and you're by yourself, what's the feeling?
Just like life is happening, like life is promising.
Life is promising. Interesting. Look at the effects that Central Avenue has on people. It's amazing. For all the people living on Central Avenue, don't go anywhere. You're where it's at. Yes.
I spent the day with my family.
When do you spend the day with your family?
Like
Purim.
Yeah.
What's Purim? What's the why?
It's like Purim in my house is like very like fun and like happy, and it's just like I don't know, like the vibe there is very happy. Everyone's like singing in my house, especially like in the morning. Like my family will blast like Purim songs and some like we'll all get up.
That's so nice.
Very, like, good
That's
vibe.
so nice. And the whole day it's like that?
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. And how does that make you feel?
Like, happy.
What else?
Like I don't know, like warm. It just like makes me like, appreciate my family and like show like.
If we were having a life coaching session right now, this would go a lot deeper, but being that we're not. But yes. Do you have a
I
question?
see like Shabbats at my nonna's house with all my cousins, my aunts and uncles. Yeah, my grandma's house. Just even though it's like so redundant, like we're there like every single week, it's like it feels so special each time, you know?
Ah. Yes.
I have like a couple. I have like three things to say.
Go.
Like, my original one was journaling because
Journaling.
because I've never journaled until recently, and I found it to be very clear, like therapeutic, and like it cleared my mindset a lot, and I also in a way kind of feel independent because then I could stop depending on other people if I need their advice or if I need them to make me feel better. I could just kind of clear my head into my book and not feel judged.
Wow.
And then
That's incredible. She's saying so much right now. Yeah, go on.
sorry. And then with the kotel, like I actually feel scared sometimes, but not in a bad way. More like scared in a comforting way. I feel like
Wow.
very connected, but like in a good way.
Like awe?
Yeah. And then last thing is the city, like at night, whether it's in the winter or in the summer.
The city. Manhattan.
The lights, like it just gives me like a type of adrenaline that nothing else has.
Like at 12 p.m., 12 a.m., right?
Like it doesn't matter what time.
And what does the adrenaline make you feel?
I don't know. It just gives me this type of energy, this like kind of like high that like.
The life that Esther was talking about.
Yeah, like it's just like basically.
Amazing. All right, very smart young ladies. Let me ask you another question to all of you. What is the common denominator between everyone's emotional highs? Connection.
What about your list?
My list remains inside. She's cute. We'll have DMCs. We'll get there. But right now we're on a clock. You know what I'm saying? We have to get places in our time here. So the thing that everyone is sharing here is a connection and being a part of another something of an experience. Waking up per morning, or Shabbos morning, or going to my cousins, or connecting with a friend, or any of those kinds of things, or hugging my mother, or any of those type of things.
Mine
Those
wasn't.
are what's that?
Mine wasn't like that.
Yours wasn't like that. 1 second.
Okay.
But it was. I'll explain why. Every of these kinds of things. So let me explain why right now. Because tell me your name again.
Chaya.
Chaya. I ask you every time, right? Yeah. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, it's okay.
So Chaya said that she feels her feelings, her positive feelings come from when she's standing in her light, basically. Standing in her light means when she's doing what she knows is right, when she's doing what people around her aren't necessarily doing, and she's not going with the tide, she's not following the herd, she's doing what's right, and what she feels good, and that doing what she feels what's right makes her feel good. It makes her feel confident. It makes her feel strong. It makes her feel independent, right? Okay, so those feelings, what we mentioned here, and what's your name? Ayala. And what Ayala said about journaling, those two things are connection to self. What did Ayala say in essence? Ayala said, I don't have to look outward anymore because I found something that works for me. Because every single time I spill into my journal, what I do is unload, think, things, a process. Because whether you talk it or you write it or you pray it, you're hearing yourself what's going on in here. That's why therapy works. Not because, that's why I always tell people, like, it's not so much about who your therapist is, even though it is, because you don't want someone, like, better to have someone that's quieter than too talkative. Because it's just better to hear yourself, what's going on in here in this world that we're not even so much aware of. We're just like walking around with like computers, walking around this world, like little bubbles walking around this world, and just like responding to life. Like, oh, I'm hungry, there's a stimulus in my body, so now I eat. It's like a robotic. The idea is to get in the driver's seat of this robot, of this computer, to get in the driver's seat and to know how it functions best. So what's going on here with Chaya and Ayala is that they're saying two things, each one in their own way. When I do this, I feel myself. I feel connection to myself. It's also about connection. Because a person can be, there's something called, oh, I just lost it. It's called, in Hebrew, one second. Pizura nefesh. Pizura nefesh, which means there's like most people, when they're not connected to themselves, and what we're going to learn in these classes and the exercises that we're doing is all about that, okay? Because the more you're connected to yourself, the more your connections in life are going to be healthy and well. And when your connections in life are healthy and well, then you feel good, okay? Because that's the juice. That's our fuel in life. Our fuel are healthy connections, loving connections, being a part of something that makes us feel like we are who we are, and it accepts us, and it's all there's no nervous system going on. People pleasing, not stepping on people's toes, trying to impress, trying to get feedback, trying to be needy, trying to say the right thing at the right time, trying to look a certain way. There's none of that. That's all nervous system being like on high alert. It's just me and myself and I, and being connected, being in a connected environment, being in an environment, in a relationship with people, where with what I'm doing with myself, that makes me feel good in myself. That's what gives people the most positive emotions. And we all exhibited that. Every single one of us, bottom line, shared something that makes us feel connected. And the connection makes us feel happy. The connection makes us feel alive. The connection makes us feel closest to ourselves and connected to the most to ourselves. The connection makes us feel like we were on top of the world, like we're alive. The connection, so either it's connection to somebody walking next to me on Central Avenue or me walking by myself on Central Avenue, the feeling of connectedness makes me feel good. Now, if that's the premise that we're saying here, that the feeling of connectedness makes me feel good, okay, so it's whether it's connectedness through journaling, and now I'm connected to myself and I hear myself, or going to therapy, or speaking to a friend, or doing my own thing that makes me feel connected to another person or to myself, the act of connecting is where I draw the most juice from life. The most. The act of connection is where I get the most good feelings that I can possibly get. Now remember one thing. Thoughts create emotions. A person can be living in the, it's funny because my kids, I went to their cousin's house, and next door, they live in a moshav. It's like all animals and like big old houses and whatever. And my sister has this big beautiful house, and they have horses and they have chickens and they have all these things, and my kids love going there. And then my kids went to my nephews, my sister's kids, next door neighbor, they have a friend there. So they went to his big old house. And my kids came out and they were like, Ima, you don't understand. This kid doesn't even know what he has. He has like every game, like every, what are they called? Every video game. He has horses, ponies. He has chickens. He has a bunch of different animals there in the back. He has like the coolest house with like a massive play area. He has like this whole he doesn't even know what he has. They tell me. Why do they see what he had and he doesn't necessarily see what he has? Because how does the human mind work?
You want what you don't have.
Right. You always see what's missing. Because your brain is created in a way to solve problems, okay? Just remember this. Our brain is focused on solving problems. There's a syndrome called the missing tile syndrome. You have 1,000 tiles on a wall. Imagine 1,000 little small white tiles stuck on a wall, all lined on the wall, and there's one that's missing. Where are your eyes going to go immediately? That one that's missing. It's the missing tile syndrome. Why? Because if I take a big piece of white paper and I put a small black dot on it, the whole paper has 1,000,000 white dots on it, but there's a small black dot in the middle, or anywhere on the paper. And I ask you, hey, what do you see? What are you going to tell me?
A black dot.
A black dot. Because that's how our brains are, that's how we're born, with that mush called a brain. And our journey of life is to make this brain work for me, not work against me. When I don't navigate my brain, when I don't get that my brain is like any muscle, that once I work it, it changes and it gets stronger, and when it gets stronger, I feel like I'm standing in my light. I feel like I have love in my life. I feel connected. I feel good. I feel like I'm healthy in my body. I feel energized. I'm not trying to get there through taking my pills. I'm not trying to get there through getting drunk. I'm not trying to get there through a party or somebody going like this to me. I'm not trying to get to those good feelings through manipulating the situations in my life to give me the good feeling. So I'll keep eating this thing even though I know it's not good for me. I'll keep doing this thing even though I know it's not good for me, but it just gives me that good feeling that I'm so desperate for. Because we are junkies, period. We are junkies after pleasure. That's how God created us. So whether you give me pleasure from life or you give me pleasure from things that are self-destructive in life, if you don't know how to navigate your brain, if you don't know how to make it work for you, it will make you work for it. With addictions, bad relationships, selling yourself short, doing things that are not standing in your light in order to get some of that pleasure, in order to get some of that love, in order to get some of that affection, in order to get some of that connection. So what we're learning here is something very crucial, huge, massive, tremendous. And this fits right into it. This is all still in this place of Hagdama for Tomer Devorah, because otherwise people can't appreciate learning the Sefer. Because it's like literally when you learn it, it's like it's not fair what it's saying to even do. For example, I'll give you an example. The first example that it gives in the first chapter is talking about God's midah. And remember, it's not just like a midah like we think it. It's a combination of energies. Mi el kamocha is the first midah. Mi el kamocha is a combination of different energies. And the way it manifests in the world is what we're learning this midah to be. How it manifests in the world. And now the first midah is talking about how God gives and continues to give people that use what he gives them against him. It's like you feed the dog, and every single time you feed the dog and you give the dog food, which is what he needs in order to exist, he bites you. And he attacks you. And what do? The next day, you come and you feed him again, and he bites you, and he attacks you. That's the midah. That's the first midah that we're learning. And the example that we're learning here specifically in this midah is the example that it gives, the story that it gives here in the gray, a practical example. Is basically, I'll cut through to the chase of it all. There is a Sheva Brachos in a building, okay, somewhere in Jerusalem. This is a true story. And the neighbors upstairs are making the Sheva Brachos in the garden of the building. All the neighbors agreed. They all said no problem. One of the neighbors that are making the simcha go downstairs to the first floor, to the person that lives on the first floor, and say, hey, is it possible that we plug in our whole DJ system that's going to be in the garden to your electricity because you're on the first floor? And the neighbor was an older couple, a man and a woman, and he said, sure. And so they plugged in the electricity there. And they had this whole Sheva Brachos, and there was a simcha, and it was already 11 o'clock at night, and the music was blasting, and the neighbors were not happy. Specifically, this one neighbor that had the electricity plugged into his house. And he was telling his wife, I have to wake up in the morning to go to shul, I have to learn Daf Yomi, I'm not used to going to sleep at 11 o'clock at night, and they're not even finished, and I don't know what to do. When are they going to end this thing? There's no possible way to sleep with all this music. And she says to him, you know what? The plug is in our house. If we pull their plug, the party's over, and that's it. It's 11 o'clock. That's it. So, just do it. and he goes over to the plug, he's about to pull it out, and he looks out the window and he sees them all like celebrating, like dancing, picking up the chassan on the chair, like partying, like in the middle. Like seriously excited, laughing, everyone's into it. And he says, how am I going to ruin their simcha? How am I going to ruin their simcha? And he leaves it plugged in, and then his wife is like, why, unplugging it? You want me to do it? And he was like, I'm not going to ruin their simcha. So what's the midah over here? Not only is he losing out sleep by the fact that he's giving them time to party, he's also giving them the way that they're partying. He's actually giving them the electricity for their party. He's allowing them to continue laughing and having a fun time and celebrating by the fact that he's allowing this, and he's quote unquote suffering from it. He's getting the brunt of it. By the fact that he did this, which means I am going to see the person in front of me. I'm going to see their happiness and their simcha and all of that beyond what I need right now. Okay? That illuminates, and this is the first chapter in a nutshell, that illuminates the midah of Hashem mikal kamocha in the world. Which means now you have just become a magnet for this midah of, you know what the midah means? That whatever you put out in your life is always a boomerang back. If you don't have love in your life, you're not giving love to anyone. You're holding your heart hostage and you're scared to get hurt. That's why God has not sent you love into your life, because you are a magnet for whatever you receive. Whatever you do have in your life, the friendships, the love, the normal life that you have going on in your life, you have also you become a magnet for that. You are a magnet for the things that you are receiving right now, that you do have in your life right now. But the things that you don't have, the missing tile in your life that you don't have, you have to know that what happens is that it's always a boomerang in our life. It's usually the areas if we don't feel like in the areas of the heart, we have things going on, like good friendships, really people that care about us, that have our back, see us. Okay, good, like we could let our hair down and be ourselves and accept us. Or, we don't have the ability so much or the opportunity so much to stand in our light and be confident and be, to feel those feelings of like, I'm alive, I'm free, I love that feeling of life that's in me. If I don't feel that in my life, it's because I'm not practicing that. You have to understand that we are consistently and always experiencing what we put out, the vibration of what we put out. And I just had this conversation with my son this morning, because my son was saying, oh my gosh, like I don't have anyone in my life, in my school that I'm really friends with that has my back. I'm sitting during recess coloring by myself. Like I don't have anyone. Okay, and this is like a cycle that goes on with him. Like this happens to him. He starts off someplace in camp or in school. He has a million friends, and then it peters out. He's really good in the beginning stages. He's really good at the beginning. Something happens, and it's all what? It's all limited beliefs about himself. Why? Because it all started in Kita Aleph. Because that's exactly what happened in Kita Aleph. So what's happening? His limited beliefs about himself, about his ability to have real friendships, not just in the beginning where it always works out, but also in the middle where it gets a little boring, where you're not the new kid anymore, when people are not so excited about. Now you have to like really invest in the relationships and show up every day and then deal with like hard things that come up and deal with kids that are bullies and in that phase, he doesn't have faith in himself. Because why? Because he's had evidence in his life, in his short life, where he's not good at that. So now, what happened? This is the conversation we had this morning. And he was like, how am I supposed to change that? How am I supposed to change that? And this is like, if an 11-year-old kid gets this, you got to know, this will change your life. Because if I would have learned this in seminary, or when he's learning this, I would have become by now a master manifester in my life. I would manifest exactly the things that are in alignment with my true self. And when I'm not manifesting the things that are in alignment with my true self, then that's where all the discord happens. That's where all the frustration and the anger and the negative feelings come to the surface. That's when they come up, the anger and the hatred and the self-loathing and the resistance and all the closing myself off to relationships, to people, the isolating. That's when that happens. When I'm not walking in my light, what happens instantly in that moment is that I'm feeling the friction between myself, my true self, and the life that I'm living. Whether I'm people pleasing or trying to get other people to like me or to give me the attention that I need, and I'm not in alignment with the inner self, the true self. So I was explaining this to Alicia, and I think that this is something that if you get this, and if we were going to repeat this all year, Bezrat Hashem, this concept that when you are standing in your own light, when you are with yourself, with your true self, and we're going to learn how to do that, everything good will come to you. All the things that are meant to be yours will be yours. All the people, all the relationships, all the friendships, all the jobs, the health, the wellness, all of the connections will all come to you. It will all be yours. The only reason we're not attracting these things at this point is because we're constantly fluctuating between what makes us feel good and what makes us feel bad. And what makes us feel good and what makes us feel bad. And what makes us feel bad are all the thoughts that we have about ourselves, about the missing tile syndrome in our life. Yeah, I have 80 amazing, great things in my life, but my focus is on that I'm fat. My focus is that I don't have a best friend. My focus is that, I don't get what's going on in school. My focus is I don't even know if I'm in the right school. My focus is on my problems. And when my focus is on my problems, when I'm focusing on the missing tile in my life, what ends up happening to my life is that all my focus goes into that thing. I'm thinking about the things that I don't have, I can't have, I have resistance towards, I'm fighting somewhere subconsciously, like my son, that he's fighting having friends, even though it's the thing that he wants most. He wants most to have friends, but because of that he feels that that he's going to screw it up, no one's going to really like him, look, it happened in the past, I have evidence to prove it. He wants it so bad, but he's believing this broken tape that's going on in his head, this broken record that's consistently playing in the back of his head, that, I can't have that. Oh, once they see me, once they know me, they won't really like me. Oh, I don't know how to have friendships past a certain point, or whatever it is. He wants it so badly, but he's pushing it away because he's afraid of it. So when we're in that kind of space, then what we're doing is that we're really not experiencing the life that we want to have. So when I'm focused on what I don't have, what I'm doing, and when I'm focused on what I'm not doing well, and when I'm focused on why I don't have the things that I wish I did, and why God doesn't give it to me, and how come, and if I would only have that now, I would be able to be the most amazing person ever. I would give so much, I would love so much, I would be such a good person to the world, and God is not giving that to me. But when I'm in that space, what all is coming up is the opposite of what you did right now. It's the opposite of what you did when you walked into this classroom this morning. It's reaching for the stuff that makes you feel bad. And when you reach for the stuff that makes you feel bad, because thoughts give birth to emotions. Your emotions are always after you think certain things. You only feel, your thoughts are always connected to emotions. Emotions are always connected to thoughts. Thoughts come first, and then there's a feeling. That's why I asked you, think of 10 things that make you feel good. Once you went there, you know how many times, while you were writing down, you know how many girls were smiling? Because the feeling all of a sudden makes them feel good. And you feel good, you can't control it, you smile. Without even realizing. All of a sudden they're like... So what happens is that when I think about the things that I don't have in my life, or that I wish I did have in my life, or the things that I screwed up in my life, or the things that that is damaging me in my life, or the traumas that I've been through, when I think about those things, I conserve, what's the word I'm looking for? I bring to the surface the stuff that makes me feel bad. And when I have bad feelings inside, I'm not good enough. I hate my life. Everyone has it better than I do. I'm not relationship material. When I think these things about what is not going well, what I bring up to the surface are the feelings of smallness. Exactly the opposite of your inner self. When you're in a place of exactly the opposite of your inner self, you are feeling in discord. You're feeling choppy. Things are not coming to you. It's not going to work out. Things are not working out for you. Do you get this? Is this something that we understand? What I focus on, I end up feeling. What I end up feeling is how I end up experiencing my life. So if I'm gonna answer your question in a second, but I'm just gonna give you the knockout right now, the bottom line meat and potatoes of this whole thing. You will get what you want. You will get what you want when your emotional self is in a good space and not in a terrible space, not in a bad space, not in a space of I don't like my life, or it's hard, or I'm alone. You will get the things that you actually want by not focusing on them. You will get the things, because when you're focused on the things that you don't have right now, it makes you feel bad. The bad feelings that you have are pushing away the things that you want. That's the equation. When you think about all the things that you don't have and that you wish you had and that you were hurt by and that all these things, when you think about those things, they make you feel. Feelings, emotions, girls, emotions and feelings are actually the things that make things happen in your life. It's the only thing that makes anything happen in your life. Anything happen in your life. It's not what you know. It's not what you eat. It's what you feel. You could know that it's good for you to go to college and to learn to be a lawyer. But if your feelings are like, no, I don't want to do that. No, don't make me, no. You could take 100 million Adderalls a day to sit there and focus on what he's trying to say. But if your inner being is fighting it, go home. Just go home. Because if you're not there with your inner being and you're not being like, okay, I'm going to listen to you, inner being, your inner being is going to make your life a living hell. You're going to be in the wrong relationships, bad people, feeling insignificant, no friends, not having anyone see you, love you, appreciate you. That's what you're going to feel. Because you're fighting your inner being. You're fighting what you want. So the way to, again, the equation is the bottom line equation is if you want to get, and this is the most important part of the whole class, if you want to get what you want to get in your life, that connection, that love, that intimacy, that unity, that being a part of something, that strength, that sense of self, that strong sense of self, that independence. You want to get all these good, ripe fruit in yourself, in your life. Do not focus on the absence of them, because the absence of them makes you feel angry, sad, trapped, isolated, rejected, makes you feel those things. And if you feel feelings like that, you can't get to what you want. So what? Yes? Focus on the 10 good things that make you feel good in your life. Focus on the things that make you feel good, 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 feel good. Focus on the feel goods. See them in your mind's eye. See them, remember them. If you haven't had them yet, envision them. See it in your mind's eye, because if you see it in your mind's eye, if you think about those things, you will bring it up. And to tie it all into, and I'm going to let you go after this in 2 minutes, and to tie it all into what we're saying here in Tomer Devorah, the first chapter, Mikel Kamocha. If you think about it a little deeper, God is teaching us something really, really, really incredible here. Other people can be other people. Inconsiderate, keeping the music on till the middle of the night, being in their own world, not even necessarily bad, just in their own world, not doing anything on purpose. Even people that do hurt you on purpose and do take from you but my sense of self cannot be conditional, which means them acting in a way that is not in alignment with themselves, lying, dishonesty, manipulative, narcissistic, them acting in that kind of way that is not in alignment with them, cannot and should not, and just that's the idea, should not make me now, should not throw a direct arrow at me and now make me act like them, or act to them, or react to their knockout, and now I react to it. Not come from a place of reactivity, but come from a place of proactivity. And that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what Hashem does here. That's exactly the example that He gives here in this book. That He didn't act from a place of reactivity. You take my electricity and you use it against me. You take my electricity and you use it. I'll show you. Because then I am going to go off myself. I'm going to lose my sense of self when I do that. Like they're doing. So being like God is don't lose self. You continue to practice the emotion of compassion. You continue to practice the emotion, because remember, every feeling has energy to it. Your vibration is a combination of all your feelings and all your emotions. Your vibration always either attracts or pushes away what you want. Your vibration is always going to be a coming together of all the things that you're thinking and you're feeling. All your emotions have energy to them. Energy is where it's all at. Vibration is where it's all at. So what he's doing is, that guy's dancing and not keeping score of time, and the fact that I'm giving him electricity and all of that. What am I going to do that's going to keep me in check with my inner being? And my inner being gets high off of good emotions, good feelings, good thoughts. And then I stand in my light and feel amazing and feel independent and attract all these good things in my life. So if I now start reacting and taking revenge, and how come you, and why, and it's not fair, and why don't you appreciate me? If I not start acting that way, what I'm doing is putting out energy. I'm putting out energy that is exact, what's the word I'm looking for? Contradiction, and what's that? Opposite, contradiction to what makes me actually feel good, and then attract the things that make me feel good. The things that I want. That's standing in God's light. Yes.
You
Chaya.
said before, like emotions and feelings are the most important. Like, what'd you say? I just want to write it down.
Your emotions, the way you feel inside here, is always activated by what you think. What you think is always activated by how you see what's going on in your life, the experiences in your life, the episodes in your life. This person that we're learning here about, Tomer Devorah, that took the electricity from this person that wants to go to sleep. Not only are you taking electricity from me, but you're hurting me in the process. So now, handling this right, which means not hurting myself in this process. Just because he is not seeing me doesn't mean that now I don't see me. Which means that if I now react from a place of you're going to hurt me, I'll show you. I'm going to pull the cord on this whole party, and you guys are all going to go to sleep now. Okay? But he's right, technically. He can take him to Beis Din. He's right, technically. What's being sacrificed in the interim? What's being sacrificed in the interim is my whole connection to myself. What I'm working on over here, what I'm creating over here. I am creating a person that wants to walk in God's footsteps. Because when I walk in God's footsteps and not in a human being's footstep, it's true, it's reactivity. It makes sense to react that way, right? But I don't want to make sense to react. I want to be in alignment with myself. Because when I'm in alignment with myself, everything I want comes to me in my life. Which means I'm going to practice compassion right now, not revenge. Even though it's right to be revengeful right now, I could even take him to Beis Din. I won't get hurt by taking him to Beis Din. We have a teak. There's something to talk about. But I'm going to stand in my light right now. I'm going to come from a place of compassion because I don't want to hurt myself. Because if I now start bringing up emotions of hatred and revenge and anger, who's that going to hurt, number one? You. Now you're going to have a big black hole inside over here. You're going to be all worked up and angry and furious. And I'm not appreciated. I'm not seen. And no one cares about me. And how many times do I do favors people and people don't even see me? And when I need favors back, who's that hurting? That kind of thinking. Self. And when I hurt self, that I'm not in alignment with myself. And when I'm not in alignment with myself, I just keep getting more and more frustrated by my life. This is stuff that we're going to unpack throughout the whole year. This is hardcore stuff. You're going to get really good at this. You're going to get really good at manifesting. You're going to get really good at getting to know yourself. You're going to get really good at reaching for things that make you feel good, because when you feel good, like attracts like. You will attract good. Yes.
Well, if you keep giving compassion to the same person, you're gonna start taking advantage.
Exactly. That's a very good question. We're going to continue with that question. We're going to open up with that question next week. Bezrat Hashem. Bring it. Okay? Don't forget. All right. Yes.
Can't you use that like negative energy to drive you? Like, say there's something you don't have, and like it upsets you that you don't have it. Can't you use that, like that negative energy, to push you towards it and get what you don't have?
Yes, because you know what you do have when you know what you don't have, right? Because when you know what you don't have, when you see what you don't have in your life, then it makes you focus on what you don't have. Meaning, the idea is to create as many positive, empowering thoughts around the thing that you want to drive you in a positive way. Not to drive you from a place of I don't have money, 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 because the energy that you're going to put out by I don't have money, let me go get a job, let me hustle, is you're probably going to sell yourself short in some place or another. And you're probably going to sign up for a job that you hate and you're going to be miserable with for a chunk of your life, years of your life. You understand? The idea here in this world is to experience pleasure, to experience goodness, to experience the most that your life can give you in the most highest levels. When we're operating down here in this like lull of like, it's all right, at least there's Instagram. It's like, let me kill time. If I'm operating down here, I'm totally not in sync with the kind of amazing life that I can have, that's out there for me to have. And the way to get there is not to try to get there I don't have it, so let me get it. I wish I had it, so let me do things. Let me sacrifice myself in ways that are going to make me feel miserable. Because I need it. So I'll give my body, I'll give my time, I'll give my life, I'll give my health, I'll give everything to this because I need it. I need to pay my bills. I need to pay my bills. I need to have a husband, so I'll let him act terribly to me, or I'll let myself act terribly to myself, or whatever it is, as long as I have my husband, a job, this. That's not coming from a love of life or a love of self. And when you come from a love of life and a love of self, you create a lovely life and loving relationships. When you're coming from fear of not having, fear of not being loved, fear of not being in a relationship, what you're going to attract is something that is completely not going to be in alignment with what you really need, with yourself. And not being in alignment with yourself is going to make you feel angry in life. Okay? All right. Peace out. Have a great day, guys.